Ryan Smith in for Greeny. We've got our football crew here with us. Rex Ryan here with me in the Seaport. We got Dan and RC over there as well. So let's go. Let's get right on it and get you to the statement of the night. Sunday Night Football, Titans-Packers. What a game this was, guys. And I got to tell you, we'll start off with this. You know, when we look at this game every week, Ben Jones comes out there in barefoot to pay honor to his brother. He came out there just like that. And I'll tell you, Aaron Rodgers had some fun in this one, finding an open Equanimeous St. Brown for the touchdown right off the bat. Packers cruising early as they go up 12-zip. Then, ensuing Titans possession, Ryan Tannehill intercepted right there. Darnell Savage, who returns into the Titans' 34-yard line. Packers slide in the in celebration. Tannehill, obviously frustrated. Ensuing Packers possession. Watch this. Aaron Rodgers, beautiful fade route. Danny's been doing it all season with Davante Adams.
Yeah, those guys were in lockstep. It's a beautiful ball to that back pylon from Rodgers.
40 seconds left in the half. Same score. Tannehill right there. Jonnu Smith in the end zone. Touchdown. Titans cut their deficit 19-7 before the half. Let's take it to the third quarter. Titans get the ball in the third and 1, and Tannehill does it with his legs, Dan.
This is a beautiful play design, and then you see Tannehill still has that speed. The Packers defense overcommits on the run, and Tannehill pulls it. Easy touchdown. We got a game in the third quarter.
Ensuing Packers drive. This one's interesting. Watch this. Aaron Jones bounced the handoff outside, tiptoes to the sideline, and he takes it all the way. 59-yard gain, but not quite, Dan, when we take a closer look.
Ryan, someone in the press box has got to yell down to Mike Vrabel that Aaron Jones stepped out of bounds after multiple replays, and he's got to get this challenge flag out. This is an obvious. First of all, I have no idea how the official, who's staring right at it from the bottom of the screen, misses it, but they got to get that flag thrown an extra 40 yards.
Big missed opportunity right there, and you see Aaron Rodgers hooking up again with Davante Adams right there, making it happen. What a game for Adams. Let's take it over 26-14, and watch this. A.J. Dillon takes the handoff, bursts through the hole en route to a 30-yard touchdown. The first of his career, tries to do the Lambeau leap, doesn't quite make it. But that's okay, because I'll tell you what, Packers had a great game. Rodgers, 231 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams have connected for 17 touchdowns this season. That's the most between a quarterback and a wide receiver over the last 10 seasons. Adams is also 1 receiving touchdown away from tying Sterling Sharp for the Packers' single-season record set in 1994. This is a brilliant combination, and I got to bring my guys in to talk about this. And Dan, I got to start with you. You look at how the Packers just dominated this game. What's your biggest takeaway from the Packers blowing out the Titans in Green Bay?
Right, this was the big test, right? Like, this was the big test for the Green Bay Packers, a team that could run the football and dominate their defense and hit some play-action shots. This is the team that could go to Green Bay and win. Nope. Absolutely smashed this test, Green Bay. Completely aced it. If you looked at the way their offense played early on, it was like, we're going to Tennessee Titan the Tennessee Titans. They threw the ball early, and Rodgers to Davante Adams. They were dominant, and then they got the run game to really impact this football game. I love the way that Matt LaFleur designs their run game. This is the salting away of a defense. They get their run game. Their big back, A.J. Dillon, or their speed back, Aaron Jones, on unblocked defenders. And you're talking about a football team right now that defense is starting to play a little bit better. Rodgers has been absolutely dominant, and we need to start using the word or the phrase the best with the Packers, right? Like, their quarterback's playing the best, their wide receivers playing the best, their offensive line's playing the best. And people need to start putting Matt LaFleur into the conversation as one of the best coaches in football.
The best, Rex. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I agree. I think they're clearly the best team in the NFC. And I disagree with Dan a little bit. The Packer defense is not playing a little bit better. They're playing a hell of a lot better. Okay. And Mike Pettin and my boy Mike Smith, they got that defense going, and they're well coordinated. They're all coming together, and they're peaking at the right time. Nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, is going into Lambeau Field in the playoffs and beating them. I don't think that. And quite honestly, when Green Bay takes this team down to Tampa for the Super Bowl, if the Kansas City Chiefs are there, Ryan, I think Green Bay is going to beat them. I like the way this team is. They're going like this. I don't see the same thing with the Kansas City Chiefs. And look, and I get it. Ryan Clark, you're going to go ask. You're going to ask RC, and RC's going to be like, "Here's the playbook." Yeah, I get it. He's right. No, he's right. But there's something about this team. And look, I don't want them to. Ryan, I've said all the whole season, I don't want the Packers to, because they butchered the draft. But, man, my eyes are telling me that this is the best team in the NFL.
This team is better than the Chiefs.
I
this
think
team is
so.
better than
right now, I believe they are.
RC, weigh in, man.
Oh, man, y'all cut that out. You know what happens, guys? This is what happens. We get so tired. We get so tired of the Chiefs, and it's like, man, They just did 3 pirouettes in the backfield, and then they tossed the ball out. Patrick Mahomes ran out the back end, and Keanu Neal broke it up or got an interception by the goal line. This team is doing too much. Oh, we hate them. They barely won the game. Well, hell, they barely won 14 out of the 15 that they played. And we got to remember that. Like, okay, guys, let's calm down. And let's also think about, you beat the Bears and you beat the Lions. You beat the Bears in Mitchell Trubisky's first game back. You beat the Lions. But remember, when they played the Colts, the last time they played a team that could run the football, that had a quarterback that could make some plays, they also lost that game. They didn't produce points in the second half. And yesterday was a big test. Yesterday was kind of the test you wanted to see if you can believe in them, if you can put them atop the NFC with the New Orleans Saints and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Seattle Seahawks. And I think you say that now. I think you say if teams have to go through Green Bay, have to go through Lambeau to get to the Super Bowl, that the Green Bay Packers would be your favorite. But we're going to hold out a little bit on this, the best of everything, the best quarterback. Yeah, he's one of the best. He's 1A and 1B with the dude in Kansas City. And yeah, Matt LaFleur is a good coach. Matt LaFleur hasn't won a meaningful football game. The dude in Kansas City has. And so where I do think this was a big step up for the Green Bay Packers, this solidified them to me as the one in the NFC. There's still some teams on the other side in Kansas City and the Buffalo Bills that I think you definitely look at and say that they could beat this football team.
For sure. So, Dan, jump in. Is there an argument to be made here that this could be the best team in football in these Green Bay Packers?
No, the Chiefs are still the best team. I want to make that very clear. The Chiefs are the best team. Patrick Mahomes is the best player in football. Rodgers is playing the best. Like, he's the hottest. And the Packers are very good, right? Like, if you looked at the Packers as a football team and you said, what was their flaw? You would point to the defense and you go, well, their run defense. Tell me who in the NFL has a dominant run game, like the San Francisco 49ers did last year that married with the dominant defense. It's the Rams, and we got to see if they get in. That's why the Packers are so hot going into the playoffs.
Okay, the Packers are looking good, and right now, this was a big, big win for them. But I got to take you guys to the comeback of the night because this one was impressive. This is a team that a lot of you guys have been dogging all year, the Pittsburgh Steelers, taking on the Colts. Big Ben and the Steelers were struggling, but early on, Roethlisberger and that offense, they were not in sync. Check this out. Nope. Right there to Deontay Johnson. Later, down 7-zip. Benny Snell stuffed at the line, not working out. Later in the second, Steelers down 14-7. Finds Johnson, but watch. Stop right there. And, Dan, they just didn't have anything going early on.
Yeah, the short passing game wasn't there for them. Their offensive line did not play great. And then Indy's offense was outstanding, picking up pressure, finding Zach Pascal with the cut split. That safety takes over that crossing route. A beautiful throw by Phillip Rivers, had the time to do it.
Yeah, Rivers' 420th career passing TD, tying Dan Marino 5th all-time. Third quarter, just over 3 minutes left. Steelers down 24-7, 1st and 10, and it's like a light switch came on, Rex. And you were talking about this. That catch right there to Deontay Johnson, that play was a turning point.
Oh, absolutely. And this game's full of, ups and downs and all that, roller coaster. But the game switched on that play. Now he comes back, throws this touchdown pass to Eric Ebron. And things went well for Ben from that point on.
Yeah, over 9 minutes left. Then things start rolling. James Conner. Look, the running game. Pittsburgh has a running game. Gain of 12 right there. Longest run of the game for the Steelers. Later in the drive, 1st and 10. Colts 25. Roethlisberger, Juju Smith-Schuster. Brilliant catch right there, making a great grab. And, Dan, all of a sudden you saw this offense really waking up.
Yeah, well, Big Ben started to get a little bit more comfortable, and their offensive line protected well. And then their defense had some plays where, they started to make some plays, get after Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers gets this PI with T.Y. Hilton here, and all of a sudden the Colts have a chance, right?
Yep, later in the drive, 4th and 7, Steelers 33. Rivers, Pascal, no. Game right there, and he almost had it, but not quite. The Steelers holding on for this one. Roethlisberger obviously happy. Steelers win it 28-24 and clinch the AFC North title. They tripled their offensive production from the first to the second half, totaling 260 yards and 3 touchdowns. Big Ben accounting for 244 of those yards through the air, his most in the second half since November of 2018. Now, look, guys, I've been watching you guys all the time. You're dogging the Steelers. You're talking about this team. They're not going to go anywhere.
So
being honest about the Steelers.
A little bit.
Don't you do that.
A little bit.
do that.
You're being honest about the
I'll come to you.
Steelers.
Then I'll come to you then.
Don't do that.
Do you think this is a team that wins a game in the playoffs?
You know, first off, the second half saved me from jumping out of a first-story window because, like, I don't want to, like, be all the way gone. I just want to be, like, a little hurt because of the way the Pittsburgh Steelers are playing the last 3.5 games. But I didn't think they could beat a playoff caliber team. I really didn't. The way that they were playing football, this at least makes me feel that if that first game has to come through Pittsburgh, which it does now because they've won the division, that they can win a football game, that when Big Ben is in control, when they push the ball down the field, give Chase Claypool some opportunities, Deontay Johnson, James Washington, that you can at least create pass interferences or make the big plays like we saw the Juju Smith-Schuster late in the game to take the lead. And then this defense also came alive. You look at Stephon Tuitt, Cam Hayward, also TJ Watt coming off the edge, Minka Fitzpatrick on the back end, and Mike Hilton with the huge interception. You saw some of those things that helped this team find ways to win games early on in the season. You saw some fight. And so where I don't believe this changes my outlook on the Pittsburgh Steelers and say that they can win the AFC Championship or even compete with Buffalo and Kansas City, I at least feel better about them competing and winning a game in the playoffs. And that's important for this team. When you start 11-0, you don't want to flatline and be sitting at home after the first week of the playoffs.
Okay, so that's good. So it looks like there's some improvement there. But